I promise you, they do their best. So to try and make sure that you big. But something's wrong with my preview page, but I do have the video still. So I'm gonna just go ahead and play the video first before we move into the conversation. So this is probably the last somewhat boring one, I would say. Then we got a video that's probably going to trigger the chat, but it's going to be good. But this next one is definitely an important topic because we hear this all the time. So yeah, so guys, ladies, pay attention. Here we go. Should black men expect black women to have a college degree? In 2022, the college enrollment rate for 18 to 24-year-olds was 61% for Asians, 41% for white, 36% for two or more races and black, 33% for Hispanic, 27% for Pacific Islander, and 26% for American Indian/Alaska Native. In 2023, the NCES reported the following degrees conferred by race and ethnicity and sex. Associate's degrees, 367,000 for men, 622,000 for women. Bachelor's degrees, 786,000 for men and 1.1 million for women. Master's degrees, 267,000 for men, 496,000 for women. Doctorate degrees, 72,000 for men and 105,000 for women. In 2021, a higher percentage of African American women, 33%, were enrolled in college compared to white men, 25%. White women, 31%, Hispanic men, 19%, Hispanic women, 24%, and black men at 23%. Also, by 2021, 28% of African American women aged 25 and older had a bachelor's degree or higher. This was a big increase of 40% from the 20% in 2010. However, black women still had fewer bachelor's degrees or higher compared to white men, 38%, and white women, 40%. In 2021, 23% of African American men went to college, which was the same percentage as in 2010. Additionally, 22% of black men had a bachelor's degree or higher in 2021, which was a 48% increase from 2010, when only 16% had such degrees. Fast forwarding to 2022, 26% of black adults aged 25 and older had a bachelor's degree, which is up from 14% in the year 2000. However, this is still 10% lower than the national average of 32.9%. Black women have made faster progress than black men in this area, with 28.9% of black women earning a bachelor's degree in 2022 compared to 22.8% of black men. Right. Was any of that information shocking to anybody? No. So yeah, so the narrative that I hear on social media is, I guess the negatives that I hear when we discuss black men and degrees, the black community is under the impression that black men have the lowest amount of degrees amongst the top four racial categories. That's not true. So we're right there with black women, 28% and 22%. And then you have Hispanic women and Hispanic men below black men and black women. So we fall right in the middle. However, every group of women earns more degrees than their male counterparts. So, and also another point that I wanted to acknowledge is the most enrolled thing. That gets misconstrued into most educated. So yes, black women are the most enrolled, as you guys seen with the statistics. However, if you say most educated based off of the amount of degrees that they hold, then that would go to white men and women. Does that make sense? So I just want to clear that up because I know the conversation is centered around that. So GMT, I'm pretty sure you heard this before, so I'll let you cook.
Oh, yeah. As I said, I'm an avid watcher of you, man. So I already know, But should we expect it? I would say it really depends on what you want as a man. My expectations, like I said, for me, it wasn't important that my wife had a degree. Mm-hmm. The reason why was because I knew, where I wanted to go in life. So I knew I was looking for different life skills from my wife. But I will say it could be profitable for the family, right? Especially if your wife has a degree in something that could be beneficial to the family. So she don't got like a basket weaving degree or some type of social whatever type of degree that has nothing to do with helping you in any type of way or the bottom line for the family, and then she's probably not going to want to even be in that career within the next 5 years. So that's where I'm like, okay, how is your degree going to help me? And I think that's something that men should look at. What would that her having that degree do for you? And the family had children and all of that become involved.
Yeah, it's useful. The degree is useful to the family. So yeah, I definitely agree. I put the poll up there, so we'll see what the guys have to say. But MRT, what's your thoughts on that? Should Black women have a degree? And you can probably add more context to it. I know I was rather vanilla on the question, but yeah, you can add context as to why, you know, they should or shouldn't have a degree between the ages of 35 to 44 based off of the information. If we know that 28% of Black women over the age of 25 hold degrees, a bachelor's degree or higher, then I mean, that's a small amount compared to the majority. So yeah, so this is definitely up to you.
I would say it really depends on what you want to do, because I personally think that college is necessary if you want to be like a doctor, a teacher, or a scientist. I think stuff like that, where like you literally need a degree to excel. I think those things are more beneficial when it comes to like a degree, but anything else, I wouldn't really say is relevant, just because of how is it advantageous as far as like how much you can get how you can get information these days. It's almost in so many different areas. You don't really need to go to school to be educated. You can be self-educated and kind of move forward in that realm. So it just depends on what it is you want to major in. So it's kind of like what GMT said, like how relevant is it going to be to the family? But if it's not outside those things I named, as far as like doctor or teacher or whatever, something of that sort, I don't really think it's necessary regardless. Or a lawyer or something like that. Like you can't get around it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Jess?
Yeah, so I know a lot of people start off with the toxic view first, but I look at when you get together with someone that you're now a unit. So I feel that whatever you do should be reflected on each other, on that family and everything. So just like how MRT said, especially if it's someone that goes after certain degrees, then fine, if that's that person. Because remember, women are not a monolith. So there are going to be some women who that's their thing, and some who are not. If you're not into that, don't get with her. But you know, other than that, if she gets a degree and it's not one of those, you know, that let it get to her head or whatever, and it's kind of to the future to better herself, because not always, like, not everyone gets married as well, so it still may be a help to her for whatever she wants to do. But then if she is together, make sure that you're coming together as a unit. Because I know a woman who is a finance was her major, and I'm sure that she gets with someone. Let's say sometimes the men are not financially literate, but if you're looking at it as a unit, y'all are working together, and to better that family as much as possible. So however she can contribute. So if that's that,
do you think that level of utility is in a Black woman's head when she's going to college? Like, is she thinking about that? Should I get a degree in a career that would be useful to my future husband? Is that a thought process, do you believe?
I mean, if you're marriage minded, that should be. But I mean, I like looking at generally what we see around us, I doubt that. A lot of black women especially, they're kind of taught to be about independence more than actually looking for how would this aid in a future with your partner, with your person.
Yeah, and while we're here, I'm gonna sneak this conversation or this super chat in here for MRT and Jess, since y'all were the first ladies to go. And I'll let Mona, you can join in, and Ash as well. Dante Bryant, our super chat, said, nope, that's taken away from your fertile years. And I think I read somewhere that 40% of y'all come out with someone else's child, and I'm not dealing with it. And yeah, it's actually true. You learned that here. So it was on American Association of University Women's. They cited that 40% of Black women who are attending college have a child. So, and that affects them as well. So did any other ladies want to respond to that? It's taken away from your fertile years if you go to college.
But aren't we focusing on 35 to 44? So odds are by that time you have that degree already, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, yes, he's probably talking about when they're younger. And when you're younger, of course, that's the whole point. If you're marriage minded, you have to make sure that it's not taking over or consuming and taking away from your family.
Mona?
So I can say when I met my husband, I was still in college. I hadn't even finished yet. And I actually pursued my master's degree, and we were married at that time. And I actually took some time away because it was becoming a little bit too much for me. And I do want to say too, that when I'm thinking about a lot of the conversations that Kevin would have with these women about, you know, well, how much would you like to contribute to the household? And when the question that was just posed about, you know, do women think about what that's going to look like? And I think that if you are going to go to school and you are intentional about that, you should be thinking about what that's going to look like for you, because are you going to school to waste your time and money when you don't really want to pursue your career and provide and contribute to the household? Or would you rather go the alternate route, which is I'll just pick up a trade or I'll do something else where I can take care of myself and gain some skills along the way. And then I can either go to school or, you know, whatever it is that my husband and I decide. I think that, you know, that could be the conversation. And that is how women, in my opinion, should be thinking, especially if they want to have a family. But we know the reality is that we do not think like that. I do think that if you are going to go to school, it should be for something that is lucrative. It should not be for what we like to call it for basketball.
What you want to do.
And we're going to, you know, acquire all of this debt, and we have nothing tangible to show for it besides us having to pick up 2 or 3 extra jobs just to pay off the said debt, and we have nothing to show for it. And again, expecting that if you're going to get with a man that's marriage minded, he has to pick up the slack in regard to that, and you still don't want to go and do anything. So I think that, you know, you really do think you got to think long term, and we typically don't think that. But to also go back, I don't necessarily believe that you have to just, it's a hard and fast rule. You have had to go. I am pro women going to college, but I'm also for women having something under their belt where they can take care of themselves. They can go to school, get a trade, whatever it is that they want to do related to their interests. But can you take care of yourself and your family with whatever you're doing, if that is the plan moving forward?
Right.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Agree with that.
Ash?
No, I don't think that it should be mandatory. Because there are a lot of women business owners out there. So if you're a business owner, you make your own money, you don't work for no one, there's no point in having no degree or certification or like that. But if you are like a career driven woman, then I do believe that you should have like the top degree, top certification within your field. Because if not, then you're not really maximizing your full potential. So it's like it depends on what the woman is doing. And then also her plans, like when she gets married. Well, no, 35 to 44. If you're not married and you don't have you should have like the maximum level in your career field, unless what you do for a living doesn't require a piece of paper.
Right. And I agree, but I will say this, Ash, one of the biggest issues I think that we have in the Black community is that our women still haven't figured out how to do both at the same time. You know, you want to, you know, get a degree and also be a wife. You know, other races of women, they get married at younger ages than our women. So they're kind of able to do both. So I think the mindset of a lot of our women is that I'm going to go to college first. And that could either be 6 years or 8 years, depending on whatever you're trying to go for. And then once you get out of college, you want to cultivate your career. You get into the career for another 3 to 5 years. And then once you get settled, now it's like, oh, now I want to get married and be a housewife. And I don't want to work in this career that I spent 8 to 10 years in school for. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that a lot of men are, complaining about. Like, man, how you going to do all this work and then you just going to throw it away? Now you got college debt, so on and so forth. And then a high likelihood that you may have a child. So yes, it's a lot that goes on to it. I'm pro degree all the way, but I do see the issues that come with it in regards to the debt. And I discussed this in the most recent video that it's good to have a degree, but if you have plans on being a wife, you may be taking out some valuable years, off the market. So that point, I agree with Dante Bryan. I also agree with you, Ash, as well. So yeah, this is good. Chill.
Oh
man.
yeah. All right. Okay. So look, check this out, man. I'm just gonna be honest. When it comes to college degrees, I don't knock it. I really don't. And with the age bracket that we set, what is it? 35 to what?
44.
35 to 44. I'm sizing you up. If you tell me you got 2 master's degrees and all that stuff, yeah, baby, how much debt you got?
Man.
Dollars make sense. And if you got a whole heap of debt, whoo, ladies, I'm gonna be honest. If I meet you and you got master's degrees and you up on a whole lot of debt, it ain't no marriage. It's just gonna be a lot of short-term gratification. That's
That's a great way to put it. Short-term gratification.
Yeah, that's a great, yeah.
Professor, my bad, my bad, brother. I was supposed to go to you first. I got you next time. It's on you.
Oh no, I mean, I know some people call it single serve relationships.
Yep, that would be me.
No, but no, I appreciate degrees. My ex had a master's. The one before her had a doctorate. But you're right. They do. Some of them do come with the debt, and it doesn't matter the level of education you have if your education is not in a field that's going to produce enough income for you to survive. But in addition to that, like I agree with what GMT said, what does your education, what does your level of degree bring to the table for me? But I like a woman with an education. I mean, I have a college down the street from me. That's where I pick a lot of my young ladies up from. So I appreciate a college being there. But no, in all seriousness, but I do like a woman with education, because sometimes I do like to have conversations about things and I need someone that's more educated to have those conversations.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Let's see here. Man, so let's go to this chat. I know these brothers was waiting on this one. So they said no. From what I gather, hold on, it's popping up. It says 60% of the guys said no, they should have a degree by 35 to 44. And I'm pretty sure it's for the reasons that we mentioned in regards to taking themselves off of the dating/marriage market for that extended period of time. So that I think the difference, I mean, we would have to figure out a way to do both at the same time. But we have to stop that cultural stigma where independent, get a degree, and then I'll figure out finding a man later on. That's very tough. It's a very tough way to go about these conversations and moving forward. But we do have some super chats here from Tristan Smith. He says, the 999 super chat, he says, I think I speak for most men. We are okay if you have a degree, advanced degree, etc. If you aren't using said degree to produce income for the household, what the F does it even matter? And I think a bunch of you guys touched on that. So what's going on? IQS with the $5 super chat said the only degree I need from a woman is a degree in being a wife and being a mother. Everything else is a bonus. Okay, I think that goes to the point of trying to do both. So if you got a degree, See, Tristan Smith again, 999 super chat. He said, if a woman isn't using her degree for the benefit of the household, she better not have any student loan debt for that degree. And 2, it's not even relevant. So, and I think I addressed this in one of my most recent videos where my applause, so to speak, for women having degrees was kind of skewed because all of the examples that I had were from women that were in the military. You know, and we have, tuition expenses, Montgomery, GI Bill, so on and so forth. So they don't have student debt that comes with it. So I think that's why I kept saying, I love, when women have degrees. But on the outside, a lot of women have college debt. And that's a, huge, deal breaker for a lot of men these days because the conversation is being had. And now men like Chill say, I'm asking how much debt you got. That's important.
You damn right.
That's definitely
they're gonna look at you to put the bill.
Yeah.
Hey,
100%. You get married, that bill is on you.
Yeah. It's a wrap.
there's so many ways around the debt too now though. Like, you know, there's so many huh?
No, go ahead.
Without having debt, there's a lot of things that offer free, going to college for free and everything like that. I mean, I came from New York, and I know they started that not too long ago, and you just have to apply. So I mean, you gotta, and then, you know, instead of going to the big names, sometimes go to a community if it has what meets you need. You know, you got to make wise choices with how you move.
Fellas in the chat, how many women you know found out there who, you know, don't have any college debt and they got degrees? You know, I don't know many ladies who done went to college for free. I'm not saying they don't exist, but we just not meeting them. Everybody got debt.
I mean, that could be a topic. So for one of your shows, give them the game.
I know one. My ex didn't have any debt, but she used to work for the government for 5 years, so I got taken care of.
Right? Yeah. My ex-wife did the same thing. Well, she had to work for the government for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? In order to get not all of it, but she's still under some debt even today. You know, I got a message from her not too long ago. Now, look, she's still talking to me, y'all. I think she's trying to get that whole thing back.
Spin the block.
Chill, we gotta get the details on this. Chill, we need
right. Yeah, she wanted toxic.
She want that old thing back.
That whole thing.
Yeah, because inflation kicking that old ass. That's why.
Not old ass. Chill. Details after the show. Details.
So the job where I work, they actually pay for credits. You know, I mean, like, you know, they cover credits for you. So there are ways to be smart about it rather than, you know, occurrence of, you know, more debt.
Yeah. And then I've heard that no job, you can actually negotiate that as well. Some jobs will pay for a full degree plan if you stay there long enough. So yeah, it's ways out there. D320KG with the 199 super chat. Pew Research 2015, married degree women last longer. Yeah, and that was actually updated in 2022. Yeah, it's actually true. Women with degrees, their marriages last longer because it has a lot to do with earnings as well. So you earn more money when you marry, put them together. It is what it is. But yeah, that's actually true.